And happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Yes, I'm actually dropping actual video on Sunday, not a Bengals post game reaction. I did post that, but we checked this out yesterday. I was like, you guys said, Chess, you gotta check out Rich Energy. So I was like, let's see what's talking about. Like I said, we did go over the sponsorships in F1 yesterday, so you guys have not checked that out, it's on the channel. Go in and check it out. And then I was like, what the hell is Rich Energy? So apparently these guys failed, it wasn't sweet, you know what I mean? It wasn't good for them. So we are going to check it out. What happened to Rich Energy at 41? Shout out to my man Josh again for the video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Very, very looking forward to it.
Like a lot of you F1 nerds out there, the mystery surrounding Rich Energy has intrigued me. Like, how do these guys come from virtually nothing to being plastered all over Romain Grosjean's loins? These guys were in the F1 game for around about a year, but just recently Haas has announced that Rich Energy and themselves are no longer in cahoots. Therefore now seems to be an appropriate time to take...
Look at that beard. That's a beard. That is a beard. That's a beard right there.
It all in, reflect, and find out what the happened to Rich Energy. Now this video is primarily about what happened to Rich Energy brand within Formula 1, but let's get into the background of this totally 100% legitimate company, shall we? The development of the Rich Energy beverage that we know but can't enjoy today began back in 2009, although the Rich Energy brand, that was founded in 2015 by this guy, William Story, former CEO of Rich Energy and actual bad Santa. He was also aided in his venture by an anonymous Austrian scientist. And I mean, hey, no, so far this is sounding like a plotline for a Tom Six snuff movie, but I mean, hey, here we are. Through the years, they sponsored an array of athletes and sports teams, as well as some motorsport entries. But they enjoyed decent brand recognition, but nevertheless, the aim was Formula 1. And by the time 2018 rolled around, they seemingly had the wherewithal to dip their toe into Formula 1.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cap. This is my first time hearing about them. So they like some stupid brand. Like, you would think there would be like Monster, the Monster energy drink, but man, for a person to have that type of a beard, to be a bad guy is very interesting. So, but let's go ahead and see what happened.
After the Force India team was put into administration by the High Court, a new owner was required to keep the team afloat. Now, before the team was purchased by a consortium of investors led by Lance Stroll's ACM, William Story had stated that Rich Energy had pledged a formal offer of £100 million toward the end of April, although other sources stated it was $200 million. Whatever the case, the purchase by Rich Energy was denied by the High Court despite a late £30 million investment, and so left Rich Energy back at square one when it came to entering Formula 1. After failing to strike a deal with McLaren and Williams, Rich Energy finally got their claws into Formula 1 when they signed a deal to become the title sponsor of the Haas Formula 1 team. Now, by this stage, everyone had their doubts. I mean, come on. Here comes this company out of the blue that we've never seen or heard of, and they're diving into the deep end of Formula 1. We're all like, where the heck did these guys come from?
Facts.
Irrespective of whether they had investors or not, the lack of product as well as the fact that Rich Energy only had £581 in the bank in 2017 meant that Formula 1 fans were starting to wonder what in God's name was going on. Which is a fair question, because a lot of us have more than 581 quid in the bank, but how many of you actually own a Formula 1 team? Answer that one. But yeah, this guy's story was that Rich Energy had produced 90 million drink cans and £4 million worth of endorsements. Alright, fair enough. But endorsements and investments are two very different things. No doubt the product exists, but 90 million cans? Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I may live on the other side of the world.
That's cap. That just smells like cap. Yeah, 581 cash in the bank off your balance sheet, or like your cash report. And then you were talking about you sold 90 million. You sold 90 million cans, buddy. You're cap. You're cap. Where's my hat at? Speaking of cap, my hat's over there. If it was next to me, I would have it on and point towards it, saying you're cap, cause that's all cap. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. People have never heard you. That's why the minute it happened, people were like, "Yo, what?" Like, it was so obviously something sketchy about what you got going on.
And finding it on the shelves here is not gonna happen. But other than ordering on...
Yeah, because I ain't never seen it at the stores or anything. I ain't never seen it anywhere, any stores, gas station, liquor stores. I ain't ever seen it. Look at that, 2.5 stars. That's tough. 3.5 stars, I'm sorry. 2.5. Alright, forget it.
Amazon
That's
or on the Rich Energy
that's 2.5
personal website,
stars.
you really can't find this stuff anywhere.
Right.
Now I know they're targeting clubs and hotels and stuff, but really now? Furthermore, if you go onto their website, they state that they have a £50 million cutting edge manufacturing facility. Yet when you check their financials, they supposedly have a little less than 18,000
Yeah,
quid's worth of tangible assets. Now I'm no expert on this stuff, but there is a pretty big gap between £50 million and £18,000. Or maybe it isn't and I'm just not good at laundering money. But that gives you an idea of where most of us were looking at Rich Energy and thinking, huh. And sure enough, that was just the beginning. Because once they actually got into Formula 1, that's when everything started to go downhill. As any informed individual knows, the times for pre-season testing in Formula 1 is, well, it's pointless. I mean, yeah, it can give you a little bit of an idea where everything's at. Everyone's on different programs, everyone's on different what's-majigger,
God.
so completely pointless. This is not Formula 1 qualifying, you really shouldn't be expecting it. Unless you're St. Nicholas over here, in which case you come out with this peach of a tweet. Okay, look, I gotta hand it to these guys. They're not short of optimism, aren't they? Because new sponsors
A superb effort today in testing by Haas F1 team and the tremendously talented Roman Grosjean. Our first day in F1 and we are faster than Red Bull Racing. Superior performance fueled by Rich Energy. World class. Hashtag Rich Energy. Hashtag blah 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 blah. Who gives a shit?
never do well in their first outings, don't they? But hey, we keep on saying that Formula 1 is short of characters, so it's nice to see the odd loose cannon around to remind ourselves that these guys are actually human, unlike Sergei Sirotkin. But for however entertaining they were with social media, or indeed any method of communication, their methods did land them in some hot water sometimes. Lawsuits, namely, 2 of them specifically. The first one was for the copyright infringement over their logo. The claim is that Rich Energy Stag was too close to that of the White Bikes logo.
Oh.
And if you would put the two side by
Damn
side,
near
you could
is.
see that Rich Energy's logo wasn't a similar it's a blatant rip-off.
It's damn near
I mean,
is.
come on. If you're gonna steal someone else's work, at least try and dress it up and make it look like your own. Huh? Sure enough, White ended up winning the court case. Oh, that's a shock. After it was found out that the logo was knowingly stolen, and as a result was required to pay White £35,416 within 14 days, which they didn't do, incidentally. Lawsuit number 2 was with Red Bull. Rich Energy's Twitter account leaked court documents that suggested that Red Bull was pursuing legal action against them over apparently a slogan issue. Oh, great. Let the whole world know that your competition are going to take you to the cleaners, huh? Happy times. And to compound all this, the team they were sponsoring, Haas, was struggling really badly throughout most of the first half of the season. And even at the time of making this video, they're really not recovering that well. Only Williams has really beaten them to the wooden spoon, and Lance Stroll. Now, if Williams' story, who I have no doubt runs the Twitter account, was over the moon over a freaking test result, how do you think he reacted when the Red Bull lapped both of their cars in Austria? Well, when the British Grand Prix came up in the next round, this is what he gave out. Now, I know Haas was performing badly, but how do you think Rocket feels with how Williams have been? And I honestly don't get the hard on these guys had for Red Bull. Like, seriously, you claim to win taste tests and all that, yet you feel the need to spend millions of quid just to beat Red Bull in Formula 1? And also claiming Formula 1 to be inhibiting their business? Yeah, sure bro, but if they legitimately did, it'd probably be down to the fact that the days of Andrea Moda taught us not to feed the freaking animals. So that was supposedly the end of that, but apparently not. Haas didn't confirm this themselves, and Gunther Steiner seemed to be really miffed about it, as we all were, because that tweet was pretty abrupt. After this, the company's shareholders basically tried to rescind the termination deal, even though it was most likely not real, but this was enough to have those shareholders take Story out of the driver's seat and instead put in a level-headed individual to take charge. Story would label this a coup d'etat attempt, which to his credit is a little bit accurate to describe the situation, but I mean, hey dude, perhaps there's a reason for it. Throughout the British Grand Prix weekend, Bad Santa continued to bombard Twitter with ridiculous
Haas F1 team loves Rich Energy so much we don't blame them as better than Red Bull. They have kept our brand whatever on the car even after we sacked them off. So you're coming at Red Bull, in which it's, well, A, you guys are shit. B, Red Bull is probably, actually, likely, we're performing better than y'all, and y'all are going on Twitter. So y'all must care more about Twitter compared to actual racing. Because Red Bull they actually speak for themselves on the track. Y'all Twitter fingers just, no wonder they failed.
ridiculous tweets such as this, before finally coming up with this gem after the double DNF of Magnussen and Grosjean. That was pretty funny. But following the Grand Prix weekend, private emails continued to be leaked onto the Twitter page. In particular, this leaked email. Haas had asked Rich Energy to pay the 6 million quid outstanding as of the 18th of July, as well as 35 million pounds in compensation payments after the PR damage that was inflicted when Story went on Twitter and rambled on about milk floats, which Rich Energy could have easily paid off given they had 581 quid in the bank as of a couple of years ago. But it also detailed that the first chance that Story could have terminated that deal would have been in December 2020, and even if Santa DeLoreaned his way to that date, he couldn't terminate that deal due to poor performance because there is no clause in that contract that says poor performance could warrant terminating the deal. So you're out of that one. And so on the 16th of July, Rich Energy had changed their company name to Lightning Volt Limited. The brand itself didn't undergo any changes, but that really doesn't matter. You can call your products whatever you want, but it doesn't have to reflect the company name. So hey, doesn't matter too much. It was also noted on the company's house website that Story and his colleague Zoran Terrier had sold off their shares and had resigned as directors, leaving Matthew Kell at the helm. So right now, it seemed as if sanity had prevailed, which is good, because by stating that minority shareholders were being cozy with Red Bull and white bikes, Story was starting to bring in some serious Alec Jones vibes. For a while, nothing really happened, until finally, this happened. Haas F1 team and Rich Energy have amicably agreed to end their partnership together in the FIA Formula 1 World Championship with immediate effect. While enjoying substantial brand recognition and significant exposure through its title partnership of Haas Formula 1 team in 2019, a corporate restructuring process at Rich Energy will see the need for a revised global strategy. Subsequently, Haas F1 team and Rich Energy concluded a termination of the existing partnership was the best way forward for both parties. Haas F1 would like to express its thanks and best wishes to the stakeholders at Rich Energy. Best wishes, huh? Yeah, that's basically a good way of saying go for themselves. But I mean, after taking a placing for an entire year, Rich Energy and Haas had finally parted ways, with Haas declaring the partnership as basically dead, concluding it was the best thing for both parties. Well, I mean, I'm glad you've seen the light finally, guys. And so here we are a year out from when no one in Formula 1 knew who these guys were, and now everybody knows who these guys are, albeit for all the wrong reasons. In the same way that everyone knows Andrea Sassetti, but for all the wrong reasons. But whilst the brand is rid of actual advertising, Rich Energy, for some reason, still advertise the Haas F1 team on their Twitter account. You know what, I seriously don't get this guy. So that was the whole saga kind of condensed extensively, because I really don't want to make a video that will go on for too long, and honestly, a whole movie could be made about this thing if they brought John Candy back from the dead to play Story. But anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you all later.
Hey, Josh explains it very well. Josh explains it very, very well. Shout out to man Josh again. Explains all his videos very, very well. Very interesting. I see why they failed. I see why. They was pretty shit. Let's just leave it like that. They was pretty boo-boo. But anyway, you guys will get like a sub. Comment below your thoughts and reactions. We'll see you guys later.